In many fields of expertise, there is a widespread belief that humans differ in their capacity to achieve, and in their accomplishments exhibit the presence of certain innate talents to excel with ease.
Oh, what a big shot by Lopez! And there it is! He has done it! Teofimo Lopez!
In December of 2019, to the wonderment of the boxing world, a young Teofimo Lopez displayed such talents to capture the IBF Lightweight Championship of the world, and he would subsequently propel himself towards a dangerous assignment. A modern-day great, and a multifaceted puzzle for all adversaries. Vasiliy Lomachenko occupies the seemingly unattainable throne of the lightweight division. Overwhelming his opponents with wizardry never before seen in the boxing ring, his status in the sport becomes unrivaled with each passing fight. But in Teofimo Lopez, Lomachenko faces the type of defiance and tenacity that's toppled many boxing regimes of the past. Bold, dynamic, and viciously skilled. When the two confront each other, an existing legacy and a promising future lay at stake. Only one will emerge intact. And in this episode, we rekindle the journeys of both combatants and the role they play in a blossoming lightweight division, and how their encounter puts youthful idealism against proven pragmatism. Before embarking on a professional career, Vasiliy Lomachenko's esteemed reputation as a fighter preceded him.
But occasionally you have a chance to see a special kind of skillful fighter, and in Lomachenko, Roy, I think that's what we see.
Consecutive gold medals at the Olympics, as well as the World Championships, provided the ideal bedrock for Lomachenko's assault on the professional ranks. And in July of 2013, he signed a long-term deal with Top Rank Promotions, led by the legendary Bob Arum. His highly anticipated debut came against Jose Ramirez, a seasoned pro with a respectable 28-fight record. The matchup signaled Top Rank's confidence in his abilities, and just 60 seconds into the fight, it was proven why.
Marquez type pace, about 40-45 punches per round, and Ramirez is already down on one knee.
4 more rounds of sensational counterpunching, movement and speed would force Ramirez to taste his first ever stoppage defeat.
Good body shot.
Oh, another body shot knocked down. That was a thunderous shot, and Russell Mora is going to wave it off.
The win not only justified Lomachenko's unprecedented hype, but it also convinced his team to make a record-breaking attempt to capture a world title in his next fight. The man standing in the way of the Ukrainians' lofty expectations was the WBO champion Orlando Salido, a battle-hardened veteran with 56 fights, and one that had no intentions of playing by Lomachenko's script. Failing to make the featherweight limit the day before, Salido gained almost 20 pounds by fight night and used every ounce of his weight advantage as he dragged Lomachenko into a 12-round foul fest of close quarter fighting.
But has he in Salido, that tough veteran fighter who's used to upsetting the odds, bitten off more than he could chew this early in his professional career?
It was a harsh lesson in professional violence, and against a brawler equipped with every trick in the book, it forced Lomachenko to accept his first and only defeat.
Orlando City,
But this experience, a bitter, resentful loss, provoked a heightened level of competitiveness in Lomachenko, and an immediate reattempt at the WBO title was arranged against fellow undefeated prospect Gary Russell Jr.
Protect yourself at all times, fight hard, fight clean, good luck to both of you.
A fascinating competition of athleticism and hand speed saw Lomachenko prevail with a points decision victory and a world title in just his third fight.
Vasiliy Lomachenko!
Top Rank's ambitious career plan for their superstar was back on track, and Lomachenko would spend the next 2 years dazzling the boxing world.
Fantastic uppercut. You know, Jim, I never saw a guy that's so ambidextrous. He snaps that right jab, he hits you hard with the left hand. I mean, it's incredible. And his ring generalship, beyond compare. He puts the guy where he wants to put him, controls the action.
A highlight reel knockout over Roman Martinez at super featherweight made Lomachenko the quickest two-weight world champion in the history of the sport, and set up a showdown with the undefeated power-punching Jamaican, Nicholas Walters.
Here gets in the left hook. Walters with 2 more right hands, and Donaire is down again.
On paper, Walters was himself a two-weight world champion and the toughest test to date in Lomachenko's career. But in reality, the fight served only to prove one thing: Lomachenko's skill level, by now, was beyond reach from any competition.
Jim, what a beautiful boxing job. I mean, he is really special. You know, the movement, the hand speed, the right jabs, the right hooks, the straight left hands. Boxing beautifully. I tell you, if there were more old guys like me around, you'd compare him to Willie Pep.
Walters has fight-changing power. Lomachenko has fight-controlling craft. Lomachenko, we see that great footwork, constantly able to move side to side and step around Nicholas Walters. He's a step-around fighter of the highest order.
Wait, like that right there.
Oh my God, I mean, he's toying with Nicholas Walters. This is amazing.
You were right.
After 7 rounds, to the astonishment of all in attendance, a dejected Walters voluntarily quit the contest out of sheer frustration. Vasiliy Lomachenko, in just 3 years as a professional, closed 2016 as a two-weight world champion and entered himself into the mythical pound-for-pound rankings. Shortly after the most impressive victory of Lomachenko's career, a 19-year-old Teofimo Lopez began making preparations for his ascension to the professional ranks. And like Vasiliy Lomachenko, his career was to be guided by Bob Arum's Top Rank. But unlike his famed counterpart, Lopez's unveiling was a more modest one. A technicality in the selection process denied him the opportunity to fight for Team USA in the 2016 Olympics, despite him winning his country's Olympic trials.
A technicality crushes your dreams. That's exactly what happened to a young local boxer.
It sucks, you know, that you win everything and you still can't represent USA for the Olympics, you know? It hurts, it really does.
His Olympic dreams were, however, granted by the country of Honduras, the birthplace of his parents. He would lose a disputed decision to the eventual silver medalist, but the experience on a global stage was enough to convince Lopez he was better suited for the pro game. And in November 2016, he made his professional debut.
Teofimo Lopez.
The journey was underway. The ice-breaking victory paved the way for a series of dominating performances and an outlet for an undeterred, vibrant personality.
Oh, and he floors up with a lunging left hook. How do you like that? Teofimo Lopez, showstopper. First round. Again he goes down, and this fight is over. A little Fortnite celebration, and watch out for the backflip.
It wouldn't take long for Lopez to begin vocalizing his world title aspirations. And 2 years into his professional campaign, The requirements to justify those aspirations came in the form of Mason Menard, a veteran of 37 fights and no stranger to dispersing undefeated prospects. But for all of Menard's experience, it was Lopez's youthful snappiness that would abruptly end the fight in just 40 seconds. This electric performance came on a night where Lomachenko, moments later, would enjoy another routine win to maintain his grip on the lightweight throne. And the wider boxing audience, for the first time, were witnessing a potential opponent that would one day mount a challenge for his position. In the year prior, Lomachenko concluded his super featherweight reign with 3 dominant back-to-back defenses.
Body shots landing for Lomachenko. Combination upstairs. Another combination upstairs. Lomachenko, too much hand speed.
Each opponent subjugating to demoralizing defeats.
And now they're going to stop.
Good for Rivas. Correct call.
Good job. Absolutely.
With the final victim being a legendary amateur counterpart in Guillermo Rigondeaux.
Beaten down, hopeless, without an answer, and Lomachenko has made Rigondeaux quit.
Despite Lomachenko's professionalism and brilliance in the ring, if there was one biting observation from critics, it was the lack of an elite opponent on his record. And the need to seek out bigger, more threatening adversaries saw Lomachenko enter the lightweight division to challenge the brilliant Jorge Linares. A 3-weight world champion and the current owner of the WBA world title. And whatever challenge critics were hoping Linares would provide came in the 6th round when Lomachenko was surprised with a swift right hand. For the first time ever in his career, the Ukrainian tasted the canvas. But once again, his extreme levels of competitiveness and refusal to be outperformed stirred an aggressive response in the subsequent rounds.
He caught him with a right hand.
A resilient Linares would only last until the 10th round, when he caved into a left hand to the body.
Center of the ring, and Linares goes down. Lomachenko scores the knockdown.
Another weight division, another world title, and another world record. The victory set in motion the plan to capture the remaining belts in the lightweight division. Starting with the WBO champion, Jose Pedraza, Lomachenko's team were intent on sweeping aside all opposing threats.
Remember yesterday we met with him and he goes down! Oh, the hook!
A routine defense against Anthony Crolla was followed by a competitive encounter with Luke Campbell for the vacant WBC title.
The man known as Loma, Vasiliy Lomachenko!
Another resounding victory, and in the space of just 15 months, Lomachenko had captured 3 out of the 4 major world titles. The only piece of gold missing from his grasp was the IBF championship.
You come out and you fight like that in front of my son gonna take your head off.
Fresh from his brutal knockout victory over Mason Menard, Teofimo Lopez entered 2019 with 11 fights under his belt and a burning desire to maintain his impressive run of knockouts.
I come here to entertain. Everybody come here to watch us, and you gotta put on a show.
Bloody. That was as devastating a knockout as you will see.
A ruthless display against the veteran, Diego Magdaleno, was followed by a swift dismissal of Edis Tatley. And the demands for a world title shot continued.
5 fights at Madison Square Garden or the theater, 5 spectacular knockouts, electrifying celebration. What do you want next?
World titles, baby. That's what we came here to do. We co-main, but now we're gonna be main.
An eliminator for the IBF championship was arranged, and Lopez was to face the undefeated Masayoshi Nakatani. The expectations were for another highlight reel knockout, but in Nakatani, Lopez faced a tall, rangy technician that would take him the full distance for the first time.
Nakatani's doing a great job right now in inserting himself in his game plan right now. He really has Lopez's attentions right now. You see the nose of Lopez reddening.
Despite it being a necessary 12-round learning curve, a visibly frustrated Teofimo Lopez expressed disappointment in his performance.
What did you think of your performance tonight?
Horrible. Horrible.
And with a title shot now looming against the IBF champion, ringside observers shared Lopez's self-criticism and began doubting his decision to challenge for a world title so soon.
It's going to happen. The fight's going to happen. Now he's in line to face it, but...
Is he ready for it based on what you saw?
With this type of performance, absolutely not. Richard Comey has power in both hands. You have to understand that. He has a right hand, and the right hand landed quite a bit for Nakatani tonight. Quite a bit.
I like that he had to go rounds. I like that he had to take a little bit and dish it out. But he has to work on some technical things. He has to shore up some things, Mark, if he's going to compete with the big boys.
Teofimo Lopez's world champion abilities in the ring were yet to be proven, but his world champion attitude was already in place. Taking the positives from the previous fight, he proceeded with full steam for the IBF world title. And the champion he was to challenge was the hard-hitting Ghanaian, Richard Comey, who had just enjoyed an impressive knockout victory over Raimundo Beltran.
Big left hand!
Madison Square Garden, New York, was the backdrop for Lopez's audacious attempt. And in the presence of one keen observer, the two combatants were ultimately competing for the chance to challenge for that coveted #1 spot held by the Ukrainian. The fight began with a precarious, tense ambience, both fighters aware of each other's ability to end the fight instantly. But when the gunslinging exchange eventually came in the second round, it favored only one man. Instinctive and precise. Enough firepower to devour any response from the champion and give Teofimo Lopez his crowning moment.
Lopez, Brooklyn born, coming here to Manhattan, looking to make magic. Comey is hurt badly. Lopez moments away from having it happen. And there it is. He has done it. Teofimo Lopez delivering on everything he said he would.
The IBF lightweight champion of the world at just 22 years of age. Now one of the hottest properties in the game.
My first world title, winning it at Madison Square Garden. This is surreal, man.
And resisting the allure of a safe, measured route towards the best in the division, Lopez and his team have instead chosen to escalate their rivalry with Lomachenko.
With a belt with 15 fights, you know, and then I see him taking all the belts with 16 fights when we beat out of Lomachenko.
How soon do you think you'd be ready to fight him?
There's no reason to wait. To be honest, I don't fear no man besides God. I don't respect no man besides my father. So it's all said and done, who is Lomachenko to me?
In an ever-increasing commercialized sport, both Vasiliy Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez have shown a unique willingness to hunt for greatness.
Lightweight champion of the world.
Current evidence would suggest the senior, more established figure to be the favorite. 13 combined years of absolute dominance in both the amateur and pro game has transformed Lomachenko into an insurmountable task for any opponent. But as Orlando Salido proved 6 years prior, boxing permits the theater of the unexpected.
The incredible power of Teofimo Lopez.
And reserves a special place for those participants with an uncanny appetite to upset the establishment.